Thanks for letting me. Thanks for reminding me. Let's see if it worked. Yeah, it's starting to record. Okay, good. All right, we have a
Introduce,
pie.
Alek, introduce.
So we're playing Tumbleweed, and these are the two two players that are both super good, and one is Hootie and the other is Nick Nconoan. And both of them are going to be playing in the upcoming Tumbleweed Open tournament, uh, and they're both some of the really original Tumbleweed players that have been playing for several months, and they both played in the first tournament. And
Yes, that's true.
and Nick, I've known him for a super long time. We used to work together. But anyway, let's just I don't really know what else to introduce. Let's just get into the game. So what do we have here?
So Hootie was the red player, and he set up the pie. And now Nick is deciding if he wants to accept the pie and play red or play white. And in my opinion, it's one of the pies that we regularly see on this side of the board. So it's quite balanced in my opinion.
Right.
What do you think, Alek?
I agree. I also think that so in this pie, what we have is red being put facing the neutral, so it can have less options to move because the neutral stone blocks the line of sight. And you can see that here at the beginning position, white has like 33 points, red has 23 points because Hootie misclicked already? What? Okay, well they're gonna.
It happened.
We have plenty of time to just talk about the pie then. So so because white's not bounded by the neutral, so white has more possible moves for its first move, so it can go anywhere along these lines of sight. And and one of the things about red is that red is has been placed right in the very middle of this line between the corner and the neutral, so that like any structure, any line structure that it creates cannot be too long. So if it started, for instance, in the corner, then the first move could be played right up adjacent to the neutral. So it could create this kind of long link. And I don't know whether this is good or bad, but it does feel a bit constraining when I'm playing red with this position. So that's um, why Hootie, I think, put the red in this position because um, basically people have started to feel that that even even when put into a disadvantageous spot, it still feels kind of comfortable to play with red. So they try to find more ways to make red less comfortable. So
Hmm.
who did decided not
Who-
to? Oh, sorry.
Yes, Houghton is clicked, but then he decided not to take it back. And I think today I actually did the same sort of move in the game with Miho, and I decided that it was too late to take it back, and I think that was a mistake. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if, but Houghton must be really like have some idea in mind.
I mean,
At
actually,
first,
what do you think about this move? We've never seen something like this before. I mean, I don't remember.
actually, it's funny that because of that sort of misclick, Houthi was on the second move. He was out of the being blocked by a neutral position, and now he's set up to have a pretty strong triangle
Mm,
if he plays f5.
right.
So to my taste, that triangle will still be a bit too big.
Wait, F. Did you say
Um,
F5
F F5, right?
for?
F5 is a two stack for red now.
No, no. Wait. Oh, you mean
No,
K? K11 would be a two stack for red, and M12 would be a two stack for red.
what? And F5?
Oh, but you're looking at the game. I'm just looking after the one first move.
Ah, okay. Sorry.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
I'm
no, you're
looking at
right.
the
You're
game.
right. You're right. F5. Sorry, I'm looking a bit beyond.
Yes, and that's exactly what Houthi just did.
Okay, let's. I'll get into the. So first, Nick played on G10, Yeah, let me just briefly catch up because I was talking about the first couple moves.
Yes. So Nick plays on G10, and then Hootie replied by F11, which set up the possibility of a two stack on F5.
Then we have players making triangles, basically, and they're making triangles right next to each other's stacks.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all coming kind of with the implicit threat of capture, or like the threat that they will make a threat to capture.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and then Nick was blocking cutting the line of Hootie and separating two of the angles of the triangle. And by this move, he also threatened a one stack on L11.
Right.
And Hootie just did my favorite type of defense. I think this defense is the best and first option if one can do it, because it's building additional lines of sight. So the capture for the opponent is suicidal
Right.
because it expands the territory the most in comparison with other defense techniques.
Yeah, it makes it so that there's three lines of sight on this L11. So then
Yes,
if white plays a two stack here, then it could be immediately recaptured. But the
right,
second thing that this two stack does is it threatened to play this capturing move here on because basically um, white has made a one stack. It's kind of only nice to put a one stack in line of sight of an opponent's stack if that one stack comes with the threat of capture, and in this case, it really does. So Hootie basically, um, for all intents and purposes, at the moment has lost the F5 stack. So he just played it, and he just lost it. And that all was possible because this two stack that on G6 was a double attack. First, it had created a direct threat on L11, but secondly, it created the implicit threat or like the follow up on F4, which would then um, make F5 kind of dead.
right. So far, seems that Nick plays very locally, but he does a very good job blocking Hootie's lines of sight and preventing him to play higher stacks. Um, that's a good technique, I think. And
Mm.
he does not bother really to capture F5 currently because I guess it will be a lose of tempo.
It would just take so many moves for Hootie to defend F5. Hootie would need to put one, two extra lines of sight and then reinforce.
Yes, but Houthi doesn't miss an opportunity to threaten Nick's stacks. So now he put a threat on also one stack in G10. And this
Mm.
is my most, like the biggest critique of the triangles, that their angles are very vulnerable. And in the beginning of the game, you only have one stack in the um,
But
on the edges of the triangles, and they are very easily attacked like that.
yeah, but this is also defendable. At least a
For
little.
sure, it's my favorite type of defense. It is defendable.
Well, I guess for instance, if white wants to put a third line of sight on this piece, it can do something like this, but red can still cut away and reinitiate the capturing threat. So it's not so easy to actually to defend the one stack in a sustainable way. So guys, just for reference, the black line around this, it would be the last move. So anytime a move has the black outline, and it's indicated in the last move, and a red or a white outline is indicating that it can be captured.
Hmm.
And here, I think you can see that these white colored in or these red colored in cells, empty cells, are cells that are controlled by one or the other player, and the pink ones are contested. They're controlled by both, and of course the tan ones are the ones that basically no player can play there yet because neither see.
Yes, excellent.
So yeah, if yeah, for instance, if something like L15, there's just nothing really like okay, undo. Maybe something like K14, and then red would just cut again with I12 and again attack this one stack. But the idea, I think, behind putting this two stack here on G9 was that if white captures F5, then immediately there would be a threat uh, on F9. But but Hootie made it so that if white captures F5, then he'll just capture immediately uh,
G10.
on G10. Yeah, and then that will release the attack. It will make it so that this F9 is safe for now.
Yeah, so it's a good long-term strategy move.
You can kind of see that they both have a triangle going on. It's like
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Well, I was commenting actually on mixed triangle as well, that it still runs into problem of being vulnerable. So you need to have, if you are building a triangle, you need to have a way to defend it, and most likely to expand it in shape of mesh, right? And for this, you really need to consider how big should be your triangle to fit the mesh into the board.
right. Although I think that once we started creating the concept of mesh, it became almost impossible to make a mesh. So what I mean by mesh, is this like maybe I can just create another tumbleweed board. Um, is this regularly spaced stacks? So for instance, if we like have something like this, and like this, like this, and like this, and like this, um, these are what I call like a mesh. And here's a one space mesh for white. Here's a two space mesh for red, and they're evenly spaced, and they create these triangles interlocking in this kind of crystal pattern. And eventually, if you have no obstacles, then you can create like a hexagonal shape, which is quite strong because all of the pieces have enough line of sight to be alive with minimal interference. Like, okay, so say we have something like this, and you'll end up with territory for sure. And if it gets attacked, you just reinforce. Okay.
Okay. In the meantime, Nick decided to make a very territorial move.
I don't.
So he goes away from his triangle.
But it also defends the one. I mean, it is a way.
It is, yeah.
It's a very interesting one stack. I don't know exactly what is happening here, but I think because if I was red, I would play immediately to cut between the two one stacks with the two stack. I mean,
it is an option. It is an option. He still can cut, but I think it will be too local for Hootie. I expect he wants to also expand and make and do some territorial moves. So I would not really bother cutting. I maybe would play. No, that move. I maybe would play actually one stack on a5 to expand and make f10 a 3 stack. But he decided to cut.
he did
I
cut.
mean, yeah.
I would also cut because I think cutting is just awesome in this game. If a cut comes with an attack, then it's so nasty. Like, first of all, the one stack is now basically dead. Now, there's nothing white can do because if white puts another line of sight on it, then red can
One
still
has already
capture.
three lines of sight.
Then it can still capture, and red will make a 3 there.
Yeah.
Secondly,
and now Nick just forced Hootie to capture that one because he captured f5.
Okay.
So he captured f5 and ay.
I mean.
Okay. It was a capture from Hootie, and then Nick expanded.
They're playing very fast compared to the last game. So this comes with another threat. So this c6 move comes with a threat on f9. f9 is in danger, and so it's nice. But the thing is, the cutting move that Hootie played on f10 makes this one stack just super weak. Although it is a bit awkward to defend the most recent move. Like you have to play a one stack basically, and you don't really want to be forced to shield with one stacks because you're just putting weak stuff on the board. Um, but what I like what Hootie did was, hmm, it's actually really hard to say what's better. So
I maybe would not cut at d7. I think maybe the f7 cut would be a bit better.
D7, the blocking.
F7, f7 blocking instead of d7. What do you think?
F7. What's your reason?
Because mm, because Nick can still play f8 and it will be a two-step.
If but this doesn't add any additional lines of sight. If Nick plays a two stack on F8, F9 is still not under attack.
Mm.
So that's the idea here. If he plays on F8, then it just doesn't really change much. Um, this
What is this battle of one stack?
let's see, because he wants, well actually this one stack is really nice because again this one stack comes with the threat to capture the other one stack, and it blocks a huge line of sight into the right side. So it's like white has it, red has less and less chances to get to the right. White already has one piece invaded kind of in the left, like a message in a bottle. Hootie would say.
I still wish Hootie makes something territorial right now, and d1 is the best, I think.
D1. Oh, I think D1 would be good. D1 would be a super nice move, a sneaky invasion. But he chose not to do that. He plays this move, which is an attacking move, and it does. To me, this is very territorial in a way. Like what you're saying, like uh, hmm,
When I was saying, I meant that I would prefer to have a move that will allow me to have control over bigger territory. But
right, right,
usually it comes with the consequence that it is harder to protect. What
yeah,
Hootie did, he reinforced his territory and solidified the bottom.
mm,
And if we consider that C10 is also vulnerable and can be attacked easily and hard to defend, then Houthi is very safe on the bottom, and he still has lines of sight to claim something on the top.
mm-hmm,
So this is good. This is good. Yeah, I would not like, to me personally, would feel a bit local, but he's not surrounded by white so much, and he protects the bottom in a very efficient way.
mm-hmm. Yeah. I can't really argue that this move is. It feels like it's an okay attack. Although I do think that, and it is nice to pick off the weak spots of your opponent's position. So if you want to play an attacking game, then like you can make a move that makes something like this. Although I honestly, I wonder if Nick can just defend. How easily Nick can
Nick
defend.
can Nick can just defend
Mm-hmm.
exactly. He can cut that new line of sight playing on h10.
H10. But then that will kind of fail to a move like this, like H11 will just immediately
Yeah,
capture
that's
that stone.
exactly what Nick just did, and I think Kuti can just can keep attacking.
Right. I don't think this is a very good move by Nick because it's unless he uses that stone to do something special, it will just get captured in the next couple of moves without much gain.
Right. So I guess let's predict that Hootie will play h11 now.
I mean, I would definitely,
I would definitely do that.
yeah. But I wonder if there's more, like, for instance, a move like instead of undo. So, well, I mean, I think, yeah, it feels, unfortunately, like, if H10 was a 3 stack, then H11 would feel super small and local and kind of boring. But since it's a 2 stack, it's just like it makes all the defenses that White has done up until this point just feel
Meaningless.
yeah,
Yeah.
meaningless, and then that feels like it gives Red power to control what's going on in the board.
Yeah.
That's just my
But I think still, if Nick decides, because he understands that this will not he will not be able to protect it, he will gain tempo in a way, right? He will be able to expand.
Say, wait, can you tell me that again? Sorry.
Okay. So I was thinking that Nick, if Hootie plays territorial and plays h11,
Mm-hmm.
then he will give a tempo to Nick,
Mm.
because Nick would not really defend that one, and Nick would play any way he wants.
Yeah.
But by not blocking it, which Hootie did right now, Nick has an opportunity for h15, and this is
H15.
scary. This is scary because h15 would go underneath the bottom territory that was very protected, like that Houthi invested a lot in, and it
Yes,
will
but
reduce.
I don't think he can immediately afford because I think he did still wanted to defend against defend G9, even if the thing is Red can still capture G9 after a couple of moves, maybe. Although now White with this move makes it much difficult because uh, now reinforcement becomes possible on G9. So it's like White didn't really have time, I think, to play H15 yet. But the option is
Mm-hmm.
still on the table and now. But Red has made himself a little bit vulnerable by playing this 1 stack, I think, because now, like, Red needs to worry about what is going to happen with the 1 stack. And for instance, even something like M10 which is something I would naturally play, like a move that feels good if you're playing Go. Also, it feels good to play in Tumbleweed to block those lines of sight. But in this case, like M10 for Red doesn't really create an actual attack on anything. So this 2 stack on L9, because it's a 2 stack, and only has one line of sight from Red on it. It's so powerful right now. Okay, we have a move. What did Red do just now? Right. Played a 2 stack on the 8. And this threatened to capture on E7, so, I mean, of course it made sense that White was going
Mm-hmm.
to just capture back, or capture right away. And now White's has made this very nice wall.
Wow. Yes.
I mean, it
Even
looks,
though even though the stacks of white seem to be very separated from each other, that they are not really well connected, but they just block all lines of sight from red to the top.
and
Only the M9 now has some potential,
yes, and
and
the neutral actually is one stone or 1 stack that really is blocking 2 red lines of sight, which is awesome. Like White is using the neutral to his advantage.
yeah, even though not even trying to capture it,
Right.
that's really nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice strategy.
Right. But the thing is, let's assume that these stones around uh that these stones around to the lower left of the neutral can be captured by red. Then what?
The stones can be captured by red
Yeah, let's
around
assume that
neutral.
they will be. I mean, at least
Uh,
at
I
least on
mean,
H10 might. I mean, I guess yeah. I think H10 can still be defended or captured by red.
likely. But
Yes.
that will be just one.
But then
One.
that makes the stones on the L line feel much more vulnerable.
Also true.
But if
Let's
white
see
plays
how it
something like
progresses.
M10, this is why red might have wanted to play M10 because if white plays M10, okay, this is another way to do it.
Yes.
Because if white played M10 in this situation, then the one stack is toast. But also in this situation, the one stack is still toast. And all the lines of sight are blocked, essentially, except for I11. I11, you can actually make a sneaky invasion on I2. Oh, whoa, what has happened here? M7 and M9.
Yeah, somehow I'm not seeing the current version of the board.
The
Um,
Yeah, so Hootie did a sneak attack, a snipe on E7, something we thought
yes.
was going to be kind of safe because Red didn't have any lines of sight from the other direction, but Hootie baited Nick to take the one stack, and now he's kind of
Wow. And do you think Nick just missed, just didn't see
oh yeah,
that E7 was under attack?
because if you check the timestamp, he made the move within 6 seconds.
Yes, exactly. Oh my God, this is the mistake I usually do, and this makes me so mad when it happens that I just miss this like long range attacks. This is number one. If you place a stack, you should check the lines of sight.
Check the lines of
If your
sight.
opponent when your opponent places a stack.
Oh
Ay,
yeah,
ay, ay.
and now what this does is it puts
But it was
G.
was it a double attack then from M7?
Um, we
No, it
can.
wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was
Hmm,
yeah. Mm. It was squeezing the last potential.
it was really squeezing the last
Very
potential.
good
Yeah,
squeeze.
it was a good. I mean,
Amazing.
yeah. Um, it was a good way to use that stack, even though it was going to die.
Yeah, I really like how G7 now becomes available, and it makes yeah.
G7. G7 can be played on by red. Right.
But also a two stack now on G9 is under attack, so it needs to be reinforced or
I
yes, just reinforcing will help.
just reinforcing will maybe even be futile because there that because red can still without too much hassle play, for instance. So say white reinforces and red captures the two stack here. Like even if white tries to defend, this three stack gets under. Um,
Mm,
and yeah, I mean
yeah,
there's
and, and
four
and
lines
and
of
even
sight.
after reinforcement, if Hootie plays G7, it's again under attack. So wow, that's uh that's what happens if you miss the attack.
Yeah,
Ay, ay.
yeah, and if you play the
It has
actually if you
huge
cut if he cuts on G7,
consequences.
then yeah, you're right. There's no way for Nick to defend the three stack after reinforcement. So it's really bad. Let's just go back a couple. What were you saying?
I was just thinking about the consequences of missed capture.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, you have to be really careful in Tumbleweed because everything can fall apart. But that goes for even if you're winning, you can still have everything fall apart if you're not careful. If you miss one sneaky attack. So like the balance of who feels to be winning can shift so many times.
Exactly. And it's very hard to predict. Like, I think we're still in the beginning of the game
Mm,
because the board is barely filled with stacks.
right.
So,
And both
ay,
players.
ay, ay. Okay, no, I was afraid it is a suicide. It's not a suicide.
No, I think Nick was probably good to do this move. This is a double attack. This not only attacks the neutral, but also both red stacks on the line of 7.
Yes, that's great.
But I mean, what's Hootie gonna do? Hootie can probably eliminate the threat on his E7 stack by capturing on F
Mm,
or G9.
I would actually protect the one on M7 because without that one, it's really super hard to get. But maybe he already has more than half of the territory. But
Right.
without I would protect that one. And now it feels that it's very shifted towards the white balance. Like
I
the white has more influence on the board overall.
right, but still, red has so
Maybe
many
I'm wrong.
ways. Even though white has more space in theory, red has even I think more ways to get in. So, like for instance, if red plays, oh, I don't I don't know about this last move. I really wanted Hootie to play something like I2 or A3 or E,
I too. Yes, exactly, exactly.
but
So to use those very few options to reduce the territory of white, but he played. I think he didn't really want H15 to happen,
I
which I
guess.
understand.
I
Which
guess,
I
but the thing
understand.
is, an invasion for red at this point is more valuable than an invasion for white because white has more influence. So white needs to just close up shop basically and play territorial moves and like just solidify the territory, whereas red needs to invade because if things just go the way they are going now, uh, I mean,
Red would not have enough.
I think not unless we are um, underestimating Red's attacks on the left that are possible. So now both players can capture the neutral. Oh no, that's not true anymore. Red essentially controls the neutral, and white.
Red controls the neutral, but White just made a very nasty attack, which is impossible to defend against, and that means that Hootie will lose some of his border stacks.
Yes, and along with this border stack, if this E7 gets captured, say for instance, like Hootie should probably play something like A3 now, just to make sure that there's something. Say Nick then captures um, E7, and then if if red then can play something like I2 or yeah I2 or I3, now there's like a chance that red can make a living shape inside of white's zone. But because as it is right now, what I think what Nick wants. Oh, so I was thinking that Nick wants Hootie to like do something like territorial, block that line of sight because it's not easy to defend. It's actually probably maybe almost impossible to defend the two stack that was under attack on E7. Uh, block the line of sight so then he could capture and then just have uncontested control over the upper left. And probably what will happen.
But instead, Hootie captured the neutral, and he forces Nick to capture e7 now because otherwise g7 is under attack,
True,
and then Hootie gains the tempo, and he has because of the neutral he has access to the top right part of the board. I
true.
think it's nice. I
Yeah,
think it's really nice, and also by capturing the neutral now, I can see that the two groups of white can get very easily separated by red because for instance after h1 there will be some opportunities for three stacks, and that's nice.
three stacks.
Three stacks, for example, on h7. So h1.
H7. Oh yeah, three stacks. Yeah, Atari has joined the game. Okay. Um, right. H1 3 stacks, but this is still a 3 stack on H1. Yeah, and then that can crumble away some of White's position, but it doesn't feel. Yeah, it could separate these groups like you're saying. Hmm. Yeah, I do think. Oh, okay. So Hootie moves C10. So Nick
Yeah,
captures
Hootie captured,
and Hootie
which I don't
captures.
think was so necessary right
I
now. But maybe I don't see something.
No, I think I agree that an invasion for red is more valuable than an invasion for white at this point.
Because he just invested in the neutral and he opened that position, but right now, because it's Nick's move, he can close it again. And that it will be. Oh,
So essentially, to rephrase, um, red has 2 lines of sight into Nick's position. So Hootie needs to use one of them, either the I or the H. And Hootie chose to basically use neither because if there was only 1 line of sight, it could be deleted. And if there's only 2, then Nick can block 1 and make it so that there's only 1 line of sight in. And then he only has one option, and it becomes very difficult. I feel like you need to invade while you still have at least 2 lines of sight in.
okay, so this is like you think a minimum consideration.
I don't know, but I think it does matter.
Lines.
I think it does matter, like being able to invade when you have more options of places to invade. So now, like Hootie's restricted. He still actually has 2 lines of sight in, but I would definitely start invading right now. But he didn't. He Hootie cares more about defending his territory, which okay, I get it. Like this puts this stone under attack, and probably will be nice because Hootie knows that he can.
Which stone was under attack? Sorry, I
Now
missed it.
J9 got under attack, and Nick just defended it on K10. So Hootie's last move, J11, put J9 under attack. There was
Oh, okay.
3 lines of sight, and then
Right. But J9 from Nick didn't put any threat. Not a good invasion point because it does not reconnect to any other stacks. It's just the one stack inside the Hootie's territory and does not put any attack on Hootie's stack. That was a perfect opportunity to start the invasion, in my opinion. So I think Hootie doesn't really need to care about the potential threats that the J9 placement was about to. I mean,
yeah, J9. But yeah, the fact that he could just capture it was the reason.
all right, Hootie played H1 eventually.
Yeah.
Hope it's not too late.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I2 would be my one because it's the tallest stack you can make. I guess what he wants to do. Oh, it's very nice. No, Hootie saw J3 as an attack.
Very sneaky attack.
This attack this attack is really nice because it forces white to either let red capture part of the wall or um, let red have another free move inside of, and in fact, inside of the white territory. And Hootie is so sneaky like this because he really knows how to just maximize the annoyance of his opponents in the late game. This kind of thing, and because the thing is, I2 is a 3 stack now instead of just a 2 stack, so it's almost
and it's
certain to live.
Unconditionally alive.
No, not exactly because.
But because of that one.
Yeah, because actually H1 could still die technically. Yeah. But the thing is, it's probably not going to die because once you have I2, a 3 stack, then you can play H2 or H3 and then reinforce, and then you have a living shape for sure.
Yeah.
So
Nick did a very good blocking shielding move. He did it like the way that his territory is maximum in the current possible situation.
Right. Because
I think that was a great shielding, and the one can be put under attack by K4. which will force Hootie to defend it. Maybe
The one can be.
I would play.
But
I
then
would
this can be just reinforced quite easily.
Yes, reinforced, but also like we know that reinforcements loses a lot of tempo.
But when you're trying to make an invasion live, and the right side is already kind of dominated by red, then I guess red would be happy to reinforce.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Yes, it's good. Good to know. Okay. So do you think then white should actually block, minimize the red's invasion potential by playing something like e1?
In this position, yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that you're right that K4 at first should be played just because white does get to solidify the territory. We know it's Sente move, so it means like it's tempo. Red still needs to reinforce, so white still gets to play, and then maybe E1 or F. Hmm, can we probably E1? We want to minimize red's invasion potential. You're right. But this is, yeah. I mean, what can red do? Like it'll probably end up being quite a small invasion. I still think.
Right. I think it was a bit too late. To my taste, it was too late.
Right.
And also because all other lines of sight that would help red to reconnect on the top, um, they are already blocked.
Mm-hmm.
So they were blocked way before. So
And white. Oh, interesting. So what's going on here? So after Udi played I3, what Nick decided to do was just let to just. I mean, it looks like a nice move to cut Red's line of sight, but I don't think that Red's line of sight was really that particular line of sight was helping much anymore to
yeah,
help.
because he already placed a two stack on I3.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
that line of sight is um, still alive. No, but he actually took control over a big portion of that line of sight of I line in total.
He took control over the eye line between that last three stack and everything above it. So that's nice because otherwise there might be some shenanigans with two stacks. Okay, but now we see the consequences of this decision because red chose you can in Go and in Tumbleweed and in so many games, you have to choose like where you want to invest to control. And now, if you take control over one area, you give up control over something else. And Red has like all of a sudden such great sight over the top, and in fact, Hootie is now winning in this position like by the score because of this one stack that just sees the whole top and the whole left and even dominates many of the cells there.
Yeah,
And it
and
was
also
actually a double
that one
attack.
helps to reconnect with the two stacks on the bottom, like C8 and C10. All of a sudden have a purpose, and also can be used to reduce white's territory.
Yeah, and not to mention that G7 was under attack from this, so Nick needed to
But
make a
Nick
shield.
saw that and he protected.
Yes, but he was forced to play like a small shielding move. Although, wow, what he has done,
It was a shield and attack.
it was a shielding attack because then I2 was under attack or I3 was under
Mm.
attack. And so I don't know if Hootie saw that because he just played C1, which is itself was
Mm.
an attack, but then that
Yeah,
attack could be
and he
easily
lost that.
killed
He
off.
lost that stack. Yeah, he lost that stack.
He lost that stack. And now what's
Let's
going on is
see.
Nick has basically squashed Hootie's invasion on the right side, but now Hootie has started a new invasion on the left.
Hmm. Yes, so that's what I meant by the stacks on the bottom having a purpose, and Hootie just used them
Yeah.
to put a two stack on A6. But yeah, for me, the invasions in this uh, the invasion so late in the game when the territory was so solidified are dangerous because they can be cut like Nick just did on A3.
Yeah. I'm just thinking like
Okay.
what is red going to get here?
Yeah.
And I mean,
I think we have some anti-quartered reticulation in the chat.
what's
Says that e1 was also a good move. She was thinking e1 as well, and red needs a local move to protect the corner. Yes, but red wanted at that point to protect the corner, so it would be a stable invasion. So maybe e1 would be forcing an invasion and not really eliminating the invasion.
well on what
I
turn?
do.
On what move?
Um, I think when we were discussing after I3 was played, when we were discussing that E1 can be like a good protective move from white several moves ago. Yes, exactly. And yes, it is scary to get trapped in the middle, as now may happen to white. So I think white now needs an invasion in the red territory, and it is dangerous because white has only one potential,
So
I guess.
when e1 here, and move like after a1 or
No, Alek, it was when we were discussing the small invasion of Hootie on the right.
yeah,
I think after I3 was placed by Hootie.
after I3 was placed by Hootie.
Was it move 47?
Because
We were discussing K4 or E1.
E1
Like,
I would be a suicide
how would be it a suicide for white?
for white. Okay, for white. Yeah, I was thinking. Oh yeah, we were discussing E1. No, I was thinking for red. If you guys were talking about for red. Okay,
No.
okay, fine. No, no, that's fine. Okay, they're doing some stuff in the. Hootie's trying to live. Um, I don't know if I see it working. Yeah, I think Hootie's dead actually,
Hmm.
because Hootie can play B1 to, but then red or white can capture on A2, and then all of that dies unless they get any three stacks, which I don't see happening.
Yes, I think Nick is very good in eliminating this invasion.
Right. So after
I mean, I
I3,
mean, maybe if I3 would not be captured, the
right.
invasion would be very strong. I think that capture was a mistake.
So A1, A1, C3, C3. Now after C3, red needs to defend, I guess, maybe H3, but maybe it's too slow. After C3, the only way to defend I3, the only way to defend I3 is to play H3. There's no other
Mm,
defense.
mm,
And maybe this was
yeah,
just too painful for red to play such a shield, because this could also be attacked pretty fast. And this
right.
would be impossible to defend, actually. Just impossible. I mean, maybe possible, like, as in, uh, could create a counterattack threatening something else, but, like, strictly with shields, no, it's not possible. And not with creating additional lines of sight either. So it becomes difficult. So I'm going to go back to reality here. So he played C1, I think. C1.
Alec, Atari also says that you can hold down Shift to highlight the coordinates of the current hex in the editor.
Mm, well, super cool. Okay. Right.
So I think for now, Nick just needs to, since the invasion of Hootie was not really successful, Nick just needs to close the walls of his territory, and that's it. Alec.
Yep. I'm just following the game. Hang on. I2. I2, J3. All right. So now what Nick has been doing is
Oh no, really?
Hootie gives up.
Yeah, he resigned,
Well,
I guess.
I mean, it's actually not very easy for Hootie to
But
make
do
a.
you think if Hootie would try to get a part, if he would play all 11 and then try to solidify his territory, he would have more influence, no? It's really
Hmm,
hard to estimate.
it's hard to estimate. Yeah, I could. See if is it possible for. I mean, Nick still has a lot of shenanigans inside of. Nick can still invade even after 011.
Hmm.
Hmm. Let's see here.
Let's suggest they play a rematch.
All right. Ah, Hootie just left the game. Wow.
No.
Hootie needed to invade back on. So I will see if I can make this
Ay,
boards.
ay, ay.
Okay.
Yes, I think Hootie needed to invade way before.
Yeah. I mean, I think even I think the top of the board was just too dominated by white for
Mm-hmm.
just too long. I mean,
Yeah.
Hootie Hootie had a really nice sneak attack on the left, but so Nick says that the misclick in the beginning was very limiting. I actually don't think it had much to do with the misclick. I think that could be a valid opening for red. I'm actually very interested by this first move.
I actually think that that first move wasn't that bad. As I
No,
said, it allowed him to get over this position of being blocked by the neutral.
right,
I mean, yes, he lost that two stack that created a triangle shape. That's true, but still,
right. This
I don't
this
know.
was
At
actually a
first, I was
very
actually thinking it wasn't a misclick. At first, I was thinking that it was some weird line defense attack like this.
yeah,
This position when you place stacks very next to each other.
yeah,
Usually, it is quite strong position, even
right.
though it feels very local and it's just one line. It is very strong position.
It is strong. That's why I don't think it should be like I don't think it should be viewed as a mistake. I think it's cool because the closer one stacks are to each other, then the more they can defend. And on the very first move, being red, you can just spend one move to get out of the neutral and then let white play a move and then start playing normally. That's one valid
Yes,
option.
I think it can be a good way to start for red.
Yeah,
Don't necessarily need a very long range move. Maybe just one stack.
yeah.
And these two stacks, they will be close to each other. They will be already protecting each other in a way.
This two stack here it allowed white to cut on g6. So Hootie's seventh move on f5. While it's a triangle, okay, but it's very vulnerable to attack. And
Are you guys really analyzing this game?
Hello,
hello,
Hootie.
Hootie.
So
So
sorry you
There's
resigned.
not much to see there, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't
Mm,
there was
give much
no,
of a
you're not right.
thought.
You're not right.
no. This was
I think it was a lot of interesting consideration.
yeah. It was a crazy game. Come on, there was like stuff going on like with your sneak attack and just some weird stuff going on like on the left. But I do think basically me and Polina have been thinking that like you just waited super long to invade.
Yeah, we wished you invaded way before.
Mm-hmm. Probably true. I mean, I just think the whole game was a sham because of
A
my
sh-
stupid misclick in the beginning.
but me and Polina have been talking that like this opening maneuver for red, even though it was a misclick, looks not bad because 2 1-stacks next to each other give off a lot of lines of sight.
It's true, and I thought it would be okay, but seriously, you want to have some range in the opening.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of preference and like what you feel comfortable playing. Because for me, definitely is not like line defense is not my option. Just because I'm not comfortable playing it, I start being nervous that I'm like just in one line and it is not much. So for me, it feels safer and nicer to occupy some territory, to do some long range moves, and I feel
Yeah.
more confident. So I think it's really a matter of preference. So if
But
you felt it was not nice to start, maybe it was better to take it back. I did the
I
same.
probably should have. I
Mm.
just didn't want to start the game off like that. I mean,
It happens
the way
sometimes. You know what happens very often to me? That I'm thinking like and really analyzing where should I place a 2-stack on my following move, and then I place a 1-stack always in the line of my opponent, and I'm like, oh
Mm,
no, this is too bad. So yeah. I
Hootie,
mean, it happens, and I always ask to take that back because I mean, placing a second move already in the line of your opponent is deadly. Like is deadly. I never
mm,
made it leave,
yeah.
so it's okay. I also didn't take back my mistake with the game with Miho earlier today, and I lost also. So
Well, I think it's also good to just play on and lose and
and
it's
learn.
okay, yeah.
learn from
But
mistakes.
Alec, what do you think? What will be the policy, or it will be up to the players in the tournament to take back the moves and misclick?
If there's misclicks, um, then I guess it should be up to if both players agree that it's okay. But
Mm-hmm.
there should be no pressure to agree to let someone take back their moves. I mean, this is like for the tournament. I think that if somebody plays a move and then decides they don't want to play there, that's just too bad.
Right, right. It's just like the matter of being honest that it was a misclick.
If it's a misclick, then it's I guess it's up to the players to. I have to ask how OGS and chess.com handle these kind of things. Like Hootie, in a standard chess tournament, if there's a misclick, that would just be the fault of the player, right?
Of course, yeah.
Right.
There's no taking back
Right.
moves in the chat.
I kind of would like to have it be like that because, and also if you lose on time, then you lose on time. Like, and just like
Yeah, yeah.
if you misclick, then you
this
misclick.
this I learned already.
There's like all these kind of like very standardized and it's maybe seemingly harsh or strict, but just like if everybody like knows, then the people should be very careful. So in the tournament, they have.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know. I think
Yeah. So Atari says that he is playing T-ball.
let's join.
So we can join their game, and
Mm,
also we can talk about the tournament, the upcoming tournament.
right. So before
Oh, they're playing a 6 board, and it looks so cute and so different after the 8 board.
okay, let me get on the right. Let me get IG Game Center going, and we can look at their board.
Yes. Do
So
you want to quickly go analyze their beginning,
sure.
or
Hmm. So if I can bring this to a new tab. Sorry guys, I just wants to find my old right. Okay. So we have this. Okay.
nice?
Yep. So I'll make a new board with size 6. And we probably need to just briefly go to
Yeah, let's just briefly go through the beginning of the game. I hope they don't finish the game by the time we reach the current position.
I know, right? Seriously. Okay. So, okay. So, what we've been finding out that it's kind of difficult to make
a balanced pie on the sixth board.
Yeah,
six-sided board.
maybe. Although I do think that most games have still been won not based on the opening advantage, but just difference in skill.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Atari versus T-Bolt, and Atari, and T-Bolt is a new player. He's actually a really strong Go player. And Atari is also.
I didn't see his games yet, and I remember he was provisional maybe a couple of games ago, right?
Yeah, so he's been playing a lot.
He just played his 10 games.
Yeah, he's played his 10 games, so he knows what he's doing. And let's just see what we have here.
But this was a pie which Atari suggested. No, Tibo suggested, and Atari swapped. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So and the Atari's playing a kind of a line attack. I like this.
It's not really a line attack because it is.
It's blocking the triangle by making a line, so I think it's a line attack.
But I was thinking a line attack would be if he would play it like G7 and H8.
I know, but I started thinking that like actually this is like a different version of the line because it's still playing in a line and it's still blocking the triangle. It's actually blocking the very exact point where white needs to play to cut red.
Right.
So if
but by the time white will be able to play this, I8 would be contested. But that's exactly what happened, right? So Tibo played D8 and Atari played I8.
Exactly.
So it is a line. It is a line.
It's a line. No. It's a line. And if, for instance, if red just goes on, play something else, and white gets to cut, now like, okay, yes, red can attack, and maybe red would not really worry so much. But
wait, but can white actually attack? No, white cannot attack these two stack because white have two lines on side on I8, but it has no attacking point.
What this also does is these stacks that are close together, they're really covering a lot of space, and when they're on the third line,
I can see it now in the editor. It's very nice.
And when they're on the third line, it doesn't give tons of opportunity for white to get underneath. So it may be ending up that this will potentially be something for red in the endgame. So let's just see what happened after this.
Wait, Hootie, are you in our stream, Hootie?
I guess not.
Oh, okay.
I think he just wanted to say hi. But what do you do against the line attack? You know, it's not so easy. What I think.
But I think the next move from Thibaut was quite nice and was quite a tactic to deal with line attack. Like he was placing something to be able to place text along the line.
Yeah.
Right on move 6, like G3 allows G8 later, and that was what happened.
Yeah,
Atari was trying to surround in the meantime. Atari got out of his line very fast, which was very nice.
What this move does, I've done this move against Tybalt before, is that this move is placing a 1 stack directly adjacent to enemy 1 stack, so it's in line of sight, coming with the threat of killing that stone. So white needs to defend, but even if white defends, because the defense must happen within a shield on a different line of sight, and it must happen here, so of course it'll probably be there. Let's see if that's true, right? It was. And then what that does is it allows red to immediately play a move that threatens to capture again. Even, for instance, and now white can still defend, but it's just something to think about. And if white didn't have such a good shield, then this could have turned out a lot differently. Luckily, yeah, I think white has a pretty nice shield because it's only seeing one red stack at this moment, so it's not an easily attacked move, but still, this is not convenient. Still, white can make a third line of sight, and then red can attack again, then white can reinforce, but red gets a lot of moves this way. A lot of forcing moves, and whenever you force somebody to reinforce, it's still not very nice for them. So,
Yes.
okay, so we have now red
So
can...
on which move you are now?
After red has played g9, and he can now attack the neutral. So let's see what happened. And white blocks that, and puts a line of sight on red at I6. So now white can potentially do a similar type of attacking move, like I5, I6, or sorry, I5, J6 to kill off I6. And does red do anything about that? Red seems to be preoccupied with the neutral. I mean, this is my theory based on the moves that that are just attacking the neutral. But I would say that if red got the neutral in this point, it just gouges a hole in white's position. So it looks really strong.
True, yes.
So maybe white would then want to block. But I don't like that way of blocking. It's too weak. I think I would probably block like this on d6. But maybe white has something else in mind.
Because this would expand the territory also.
But instead of d6, white has played a 1 stack, but it does claim this whole line of sight on the 7th. So it's not...
Which is also not that bad.
Not bad.
Not weak at all.
Not weak from the perspective of exploring new territory, but I just think that it actually may not...
are very vulnerable, I agree.
Yeah, but it actually may not be super easy for red to attack white without placing more 1 stacks that can be also blocked. So this might be a pretty safe 1 stack.
If red would be doing this, red would be forcing white to play it within that small territory in the middle and be able to surround it. So this is very good at like strategy that contains your opponent.
Yeah. Let's see what happened. And then red basically makes a very strong attack against d8. I mean, I think this might have been partially what Atari was thinking when he played c6. In addition, like creating this threat to capture the neutral, but then coming back, using that line of sight to definitively capture. I mean, it's really, there's not a way for white to shield anymore, because when you play adjacent to your enemy stacks, then you really, there's no room for them to shield.
Yeah, but white can minimize the damage by playing d7.
Let's see if he does that. Yeah, minimize the damage, sure. And that could also lead to a capture of the c6. And exactly what... So this looks very nice because it forces red to capture. So now red's under attack, and red needs to essentially respond by playing on d8. And I think that's probably what happened. Yep. And now white plays an interesting move. What this move does is not only attack on e8, but also attack it creates a kind of invasion point on I7.
Nice.
So Atari needs to choose now what he's going to defend, the left or the right. So this is a dual purpose long range attack. I love it.
I love it.
So I would probably not have played that move. The shield, it seems like not... It seems like...
Wow, dangerous. It's just a 1 stack. It's a dangerous shield.
Yeah, I don't know about this shield. Although it still does actually threaten to capture the neutral. But I don't know if that matters so much. And honestly, if red were to lose e8, it still wouldn't be such a big deal. I mean, it's because it doesn't really like contribute so much to the network of red, whereas
Mm-hmm.
this I7 point is so. So, for instance, I can just imagine like this now puts two. This I7 puts I6 and I8 both under attack. So let's see
Mm-hmm.
what happened. Did he get to do that? No. He's holding off there. He wants to capture on the left. He wants to capture this one stack.
But that's also, I mentioned the one stack is captured.
Oh yeah, yeah. Red becomes
And
very
then and then and then
concentrated.
then all of a sudden the white has all the territory. Yeah, like on the top and even a little bit below the neutral. It's big.
It's big, definitely. So this D6 move is. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think we wanted to really briefly analyze it, so we do get the real game also.
All right. Well, we can. I mean, the thing is, like, I'm just curious. It's hard for me to
To
feel,
catch up, yeah, if you don't see, yeah, I understand. Okay, no, I like it.
but we can go a little faster. So we have this attack on white. It
Yeah,
actually.
I think after this move on G9, right?
Mhm.
So what I was thinking, let's imagine C6 is captured. Then for red, it will be very difficult um, to have some territory. And what F9 is doing, it allows a 3 stack on E7, so which is really nice. Which is still like shows that red is fighting so hard.
Mhm. There's still red has a lot of ways to get
And
to the
red,
top of the board.
yeah, and also puts a threat on G8. So it's up to white to decide what to do.
No, I don't think that red is locked away from the board, even if this C6 is captured. Let's see what happens. Um, so we had this, okay, and then I love it. Yeah, so now white has put a lot of red's attack stones under attack. So I6 is under
Mm-hmm.
attack, I8 is under attack, and now it really
I
looks.
get so nervous when there are so many. Yeah,
Mm.
when so many stacks are under attack on the board, I get really distracted.
And
Like
he
it's really hard for me to decide what's more urgent, what's more important.
and now red has put so many of whites under attack. So this three
Mm-hmm.
stack actually puts.
Crazy. Someone needs to break it, and someone needs to start capturing.
Yeah, this is a really intense fight that's very difficult for me to like analyze what's the best move in this situation because like so much is possible. So much is possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm, so he then.
But even if you put so many stacks under attack, only a couple of them get captured essentially.
I
Because
mean, it
capturing
depends. It
some
depends.
eliminates the threat on the
Yeah.
other, and then essentially just two captures usually resolve the issue.
No, not always though, because sometimes if you go the other way, then the captures create new captures. And if they don't focus on defending and they just
That
focus on
that can
attacking,
happen.
then everything
Yeah,
can get
that can
reversed.
happen.
So as you so as we're now reached the position where white actually has captured c6, and it doesn't look settled at all. And
Yeah.
I know at some point red is going to play a1, and that's just going to be crazy. So
Let's
red is
see.
captured now and create a new line of sight into the upper left by capturing f7.
Yeah, now it's very vulnerable.
And
The whole situation for white is really bad.
white will continue to capture on the right. So white's really no. I mean, both of them look. All the white groups look fairly stable at the moment, other than this one on G8.
It is just the overall influence is a bit screwed for white.
It looks
I think
looks what?
looks doesn't look solid.
Doesn't look solid.
Like
Yeah, red has a lot of ways in. There's basically nobody. I mean, red is controlling the upper left. Actually, red is controlling the right corner, and red is controlling the lower side. and so white has some influence in the middle on the upper side and the lower right, although many of those spots are contested. So after there's a capture there, and then now red has, yeah, made. It does look like white's pieces are just swimming in red influence.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. That
Mm.
even though the white is not, I mean, it looks solid, but the influence is not solid at all.
Yeah, but I think that once certain things get captured, it might not be like this anymore. So there's the C5, and red captures the neutral. Just like, okay, screw it. Now I can go everywhere. But still, white can capture. I hope white captures this one stack. Let's see. No, I guess it was necessary um, to prevent red from
The
capturing
two
D.
stack, yeah. But I would not do it this way. I would go for B7. That will
Because
create a third line of sight on C7. So red would not be able to play there, but for white it will be more influence on the top part.
oh
So
shoot.
instead of C7, I would go B7.
Yeah, I agree. B7 looks well. It's a one stack though.
I don't know.
It's a
Maybe.
it's a one stack. It seems like too easy to
Mm,
for red to just play like B6 and then kill it immediately. But let's say
okay, maybe.
maybe not because like this and then you like that and then you reinforce and then you have kind of a stable situation going on here. Still looks
Right, but I
too.
mean, but again, yes, that the idea that B7 would give an influence to the top would be blocked immediately. Okay,
But the thing is, this just gets killed anyway. This doesn't really help. I mean, maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. So after he did this, then yes, red plays a1. Now it just looks very, very red.
yes, right by day one.
White blocks when white can't even capture anymore, so white needed to play another preparatory move to be able to capture e5. I think white. I would have liked for white to capture e5 earlier. I prefer when you can just clean up a little bit once in a while, clean up those dead stacks to get rid of their influence so that they can't beget more stacks.
Yeah. So you're always advocating for capturing as early as possible.
I'm a pro capture. I'm a pro capture tumbleweeder.
And again, for even like instead of D, but do you think D4 was a good one, or maybe C3 would be a better one? C3 would show that the white has more influence.
I don't.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not needed.
I kind of like D4 because it it's less easily attacked. I think
Mm,
C3. There's a lot of forcing moves like C1 and A3.
okay.
Okay, so I'm just trying to get through these. Let's see. So, red. Oh wow, more things. So I think at this point was it a mistake? C5, A4, A4, and then right exactly, and then so he played A4 not understanding that C5 could be captured, and that really made a huge difference I think on the board.
Mm,
Now it just looks
yes,
really
really red and and almost impossible to protect. Like yes, impossible to protect this D6, and because of this, the whole that group falls.
now with this three stack which has been surviving for so long will now probably die because it's four lines
Yeah,
of
it
sight.
will. It will. It's on a sharp corner. So
But
400 side. No possibility to protect. And those 4-2 stacks, they depended on the 3. Ay, ay, ay.
doesn't seem nice. Although somehow in this position, White has not dropped so much in the score. Like by the score, by the raw influence, by the numbers, is still a game. And I think that like in this case, there are weak elements to Red's position that can be exploited by White, and um, Red's the part where Red is so dominating is also has lots of White stacks that can maybe stir up more trouble still, and create a living shape and an invasion. So, but Red captures here, looks really nice, and White basically kills off this Red stack on a3. Okay, nice. Red plays a 1 stack here, which it's always interesting when you see a 1 stack. And I think the reason is that it
To claim the line.
claimed the line,
number 2 was empty.
and c4 is dead now.
Yes, exactly. And after c4, f7 is dead. Phew.
So c4. Oh, yeah, but that's okay because now what White should do is White should defend by capturing a3. Yep. And here now we have like a very living White shape, and on the left. So these points will be, I think, not taken away. Oh, Tybalt lose on time. All right, let's quickly go through the rest.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Yeah, that happens. I mean, they didn't have a very long, 10 minutes and 15 seconds per move. So it's more a sprint game, mostly related on intuition.
Yeah, no need to be sorry, Tybalt. This is an interesting game, too. And we have still the insane fighting in the middle. Like, I couldn't analyze it in 10 minutes and 15 seconds. I mean, that's
yeah.
That's just, you really have to kind of, when you reach that point, if you don't have enough time, you just decide. You decide, okay, I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to say, great game, guys.
In my case, I just panic. I just panic when I have so many attacks, like stacks under attack, and I also can capture, and I cannot decide who is, like which one is more urgent and more important. So I just panic, and I really, I lose a lot on time.
Let's look at the final position. And it seemed like White, has this actually the thing about the, oh my god, Duolingo is reminding me. Okay, I realize now that the left actually, once Red captures, so I don't know. So once Red captures here, then there's apple picking going on. So it's less White territory than I thought.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nick is playing against Tybalt. How do I say it? Tybalt? Tybalt?
Or Thibaut. Is he French?
Tybalt. He's Swiss.
Okay.
Are we going to get Nick versus Tybalt? Let's go.
Thibaut says, I'm your go-to guy if you want points. But they can play unrated game if this is... that's actually what I started to do. I started to play... All my games are unrated until I actually become strong. Because that is so sad to lose in points. But maybe it is not so stimulating if I play unrated games. I don't know. What do you think?
I started to play unrated games with like beginners so that I could like that if I win, then they don't automatically have a low rating, and if I
Yes.
lose, then I don't. They don't have. Then I don't get a huge drop in my rating. Okay.
So, all right. So, but they are starting with the pie that we already used to see. So I think those people who watch the streams and play the games, they already know that it's quite good one. We don't really know. We don't really know if on board size 6 it gives advantage to red. We don't know yet. We're about to find out maybe.
So I played this against Thibaut.
And he says, "Let me try the Spartacus opening." So he does take the example from you.
Yeah, he's playing the lion attack probably, and I want to see what Nick will do, because if Nick tries to make a triangle, probably Thibaut will block it. But actually, it looks awesome because it's so funny. We put red next to the neutral to give red less opportunities to move, and then when red says, "You know what? It's okay. I can play a line on the neutral." It makes me think, what are we doing with our pies? Like, does it really even matter? That's why I started trying doing some a little bit more aggressive pies. The thing is, if Nick wants to play this, Nick. So let's say this Thibaut does something random, and Nick plays this 2-stack. Even this, once you cut, it's a bit scary for both players. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe this is fine for white if red gets cut. I would not like to have. Yeah. The 1-stack's vulnerable at the edge. Oh, he played exactly what I predicted, but I was just saying that was something random.
So he doesn't want to block a triangle.
No, I would play definitely here.
Maybe because he knows the triangle is a weak shape.
Oh, all right. We have the exact position that I.
I'm just kidding. I think by playing J5, Thibaut expanded the opportunities. He can block on any. He can block on F5 or he can block on D4.
No, I mean the triangle is not a weak shape. This is. I thought this was going to be bad for white, but no, I don't think it's bad for white. I think once red, or once white starts attacking the cutting stone, you see why you need to be careful when you cut, because, and the thing is, red could have played d4 from the beginning and prevented this triangle, and I don't think triangles are weak. I think, like, okay, so red cuts again, white now captures, and now white has captured, or has cut, and now there's 2 red 1-stacks under attack. This all would have been avoided with the line attack. I really wanted to see Thibaut play the line attack. But
which 1-stack you think is the more important to protect?
Neither of them can be protected.
Okay, so what would you do in this situation then?
As red?
Yes.
I would attack I8, maybe by playing like J9. Ah, come on. Come on, Thibaut. Thibaut said that he had a kind of a streak of losing, a losing streak.
Yeah, I know how it feels, so I don't think it's stupid.
Yeah, it's not stupid.
But he doesn't want after 1 is captured, after E5 is captured, he doesn't want the F5 to be under attack. So he he shields even before the attack.
F5. No, but the thing about it is, if red wants F5 to be safe, then red should capture I7 or I8.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so that's why
I think your proposal was much better in this way.
making a shield like this kind of preemptively doesn't really accomplish much. Because
Yeah, because
also
this
you could
shield
see
is just a
how
one stack, and it was already placed under attack again.
exactly by Nick, because Nick
Knows how to do it, but this one can be protected by placing a third line of sight on E7, and it allows to expand for red also. So maybe it's not that bad. But again, capturing the I8 would be much better. I agree.
Nick is just magnetically drawn to attacking.
Okay, good to know. I'm still not good in attacking.
But I mean, attacking is just you find the stones that are in your line of sight, and they don't have so many opponent line of sight. Oh, what happened here? So, so white has captured.
I think I was wrong. I was wrong. For that one, it was not possible to place 3 lines of sight. So red just tried to squeeze the last potential and place the J7, and white just captured.
The idea was what red's idea was that red would put 3 lines of sight after white captures.
But
So
white just captured. Ah, okay.
so
Yes,
that
but
so that
okay, I see. But white was able to shield.
yeah, and that's the reason why it can work sometimes, but it's not so easy to make it work. Now red has played I6. This allows red to potentially attack the neutral if white will allow it, but white can capture on multiple locations.
Yeah. But it allows again to protect the 2 stack on F5 by placing G6.
Yeah, yeah, but it still actually doesn't protect it for long because F4.
Yeah.
So Nick just beat Hootie. He must be feeling pretty good.
Yes, so he's on his winning streak.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see everybody's performance in the tournament. I will be playing my best. So we have
So you don't always play your best.
nobody can always play their best, right?
Okay, I like this one, the last one for G5. It puts an attack on I7 and takes the whole unoccupied line.
So
On
Nick
G.
should realize that I7 is not able to be saved. Okay. But I think Nick prepares. Nick makes it so that capturing I7 is not a good move. I mean, not a big move. Like,
Not a big move, yes.
yeah. So
Miho just joined the game. I don't know if Miho is in the stream. It's very difficult to see in Twitch who is in the stream currently,
I don't
right?
think you can see who's in the stream really. I mean, I don't know how to do it. Hey, Mia. So red has this line of sight into white's zone, which I believe should be exploited ASAP. Otherwise, it'll
And
be.
it is.
Oh, very nice.
Exactly.
A sneaky invasion.
At this point, I don't think that it is. I mean, looking at the editor, I can see that white has a lot of influence, but I still wouldn't really call that a zone or a territory because it's very open.
It's not so open. White
Uh,
definitely has more influence
mm,
there. Like without the one stack, there's just one line of sight entering. So this is an invasion.
I mean, now I can see it more clearly because that again the lines that were created by J10 uh, were easily blocked.
Mm-hmm. Everything. Yeah.
Do you think C8 is a good option now?
C8 would be interesting, but C8 does not create an attack. It would be nice for red to set up an attack before that. So I like what red has done here because it's another sneaky move, and it somewhat protects the previous move. So it makes it much harder for white to kill the lower red group.
Yeah, yeah. And so now maybe after after G9, let's say white wants to keep closing the opportunities and say placing something like F F8, but then red can play K9 and attack the white stone, the white stack,
Yeah,
and expand and occupy the bottom part.
yeah. I was just thinking the same.
So it is hard. Now it is up for white to decide what white allows.
A3 also looks nice.
Yes. So that's why I think from white it is it's not the best move from white. I would go whether F8 or J9.
K9 should. Oh wait, what happened? So okay, right. C5 was played and he captured. You know, the thing about this is that we also need to bear in mind that white can expand into the upper right side if he wants to. I don't feel much from this move. Uh, it's I think easily killed off, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. Very lonely two stacks surrounded by white,
Yeah,
without opportunity to reconnect to the red. Yes, it's very dangerous. So now move K9.
K9. Yeah,
K9.
I think it looks super cool. Or um, yeah. I mean, probably K9. I was thinking also potentially.
Also, D9 may work for a
Yeah,
short
I was
while. At
just
least D9 would allow, even though it's a one stack,
something like that. Yeah, D9 captures and
would
then C8.
would allow C8, even if one stack is protected, like shielded. So okay, in a similar okay, he moved in a similar logic. Yes.
Uh, yeah, but this one's strictly worse. So now everything's dead and nothing of white can be really killed. So say we do this, or maybe it's not strictly worse because it's still because yeah, unfortunately white still has this very protected. Okay, what happened?
In the game, nothing happened. Yeah, sneaky attack. So red played on c7 and put h7. Oh, h7 under attack.
Yeah, I don't know if this.
Something that is hard to see.
It's hard to see, but it's not so hard to defend. But
Yeah,
if it's
the
defended,
defense will be very easy and it will
but
solidify a lot of white territory in the middle.
but who knows? Maybe what red's doing here is actually like
Forcing white to play within its moya.
yeah, and then allowing, for instance, a move like C or D9 now. Is it true that no? But unfortunately, yeah. Even though there's two red on, atta- even though white can attack the one stack on D8, white can easily put a third line of sight, so it would be
Yeah.
too easy to defend.
So in the Twitch chat, Miho approves my idea on K9 and says that it's a very good idea for red.
Mm.
But red just played k8, which maybe does the same thing.
The same thing, but no, but
And
not so much because I think k8, k9 it creates a link between these two.
yes.
Although I think probably
Hmm.
in the end, like white will still cut, so then maybe it's not so much of a
Yeah.
difference.
d9 makes f9 a 3 stack, Nico says. d9 makes an f9 a 3 stack. Yes.
d9 makes. Oh, just a brutal defensive move by Nick. Although I guess, yeah, because the two stack's probably gonna fall at this point. Um, d9,
Which two stacks?
the two stack on g9.
Yeah.
I like this corner two stack. I mean, if you get one three stack and if you get one three stack adjacent to a corner two stack, you'll at least live with something. Um, and you can and white has red has multiple ways, or at least one way to do that in this position. But white will probably capture. Okay.
You mean white will capture in the bottom?
Capture on g10. And that would make it so that playing on k10 is not a three stack anymore. But red chose a slightly different way to do this. Although I do think that if red just captures now, threatening white, now even if white captures, red can still capture what k9 and then actually make the lower right corner survive. So instead of that, um, Thibault played J11, which is also an attack, which prompted a response from white. And after G9, we got this attack that I was talking about. Looks awesome. It looks really awesome. Although now I think if white just plays this two stack, and then you get a
Yeah, white just defended and it's fine.
yeah,
It's stable.
it's very hard. I don't. Oh, but yeah, I think that white can basically make everything die.
Yes, if white plays I11, everything dies. Nothing can survive.
Well, it's it's red to move though.
Then red maybe should play I11.
So I11, it threatens this one stack, but it's still I think everything. Oh,
I11 and H11.
yeah, but H11 it's too late because you won't get a three stack. Nick will just capture unless they both don't focus on this. It's an interesting variation though, for sure. Okay, so now C7's under attack. I like this move by Thibault. It's
Oh,
because it makes
and
B2.
red didn't respond, but red could not respond, right?
Red didn't have such good responses, but it looks like B2 would be fun at least.
Yeah, but B2 is available.
Yeah, later for red, and then just to try to make some second line territory, like either on the upper side or the left side. Because if Thibault uh, kind of squeeze Nick towards the center and secure something on the upper side and the left side, then maybe he can get some points back, which enough points back to. I think it also requires, this interesting what you said about. Actually, I think now the more I think about it, I11, making a threat on I8.
Yes, exactly.
And if white responds, then you would make the 3-stack. But if white doesn't respond, you capture, and you have another threat.
Yeah.
So it is a move with
I
a
think
follow-up.
I11 is a very hot spot.
It is, yes. So now I think...
and white just blocked the opportunity of B2. So now it's the best time.
Yeah. I really like this move. So what we're talking about is, say... let me just explain.
Yeah.
So if white defends this attack stack, then red can live here on the bottom. But because a 3-stack on the bottom connected to a chain of 2 stacks leading to the corner is always alive. But if white doesn't, if white decides to instead make it so that this is not so this would still be like dead, right? But then, so now it's just 2 stacks on the bottom. They're all going to die. But red can now instead create this huge attack, and white doesn't have enough time to put the 4th line of sight on red. Now red can basically just capture many stacks, whatever it wants, basically. So this would just be kind of brutal, and I think
that's what he did.
I think that's what he did. Yeah.
Yes. Amazing. Thibaut saw that. Yes.
Excellent.
Did Thibaut sign up for the tournament already?
I have talked to Thibaut about the tournament. So now I think red will get to live in the bottom if he just plays.
For sure.
And I wonder if Thibaut has read the analysis of life in Tumbleweed article, because if he has, then he would immediately play this. Otherwise, I think he must die, on the bottom. I think there's any other way to survive for red.
What is the article that you talked about? The analysis of life in Tumbleweed?
Yeah, I just
Thibaut just gave up.
Oh, what? Whoa! Hang on, wait. Thibaut. H11.
H11 was amazing.
H11, you live on the bottom. It's just he knew already. He didn't care.
Maybe he didn't see it, or maybe he thought it would not be enough anyway.
He actually anticipated that even living in the bottom, that it's just not enough. That Nick's position on the whole board is just overwhelming.
Yeah.
Which I can't really disagree with, but I mean, it is still these small victories that I do still get excited about. Just even living on the bottom, even if you're gonna lose. E2 is much bigger, but it's not enough. E2 is much bigger. It is actually bigger. I'm just gonna. That's correct.
But what about if he would play? I mean, yes, he would need to live in the bottom and then also to manage D2 somehow. And if D2 would be possible, but Nick would block that opportunity of D2.
Yeah,
because
both.
D2 is a 2-stack for both.
Right.
But as soon as Thibaut played H11, I would expect Nick would play F2 to reduce red even more.
Hang on. Say he doesn't do that, and say Thibaut plays. Now F2 is not available. We're talking about what was the best move in the upper. So for red, okay. I don't see what's the best move. Maybe E2.
Well, maybe D2.
E2 F3.
How do I join voice?
Yeah, it looks.
Nick wants to join our call.
Yeah. How?
I don't know. Maybe you need to. Can you add him to our call
Yeah.
somehow? Can we?
Oops, did I just add John Sievers too?
No, you added Nick.
All right, Nick. Yeah, maybe. Well, is it possible for? I think that E2 F3, then E2 F3, D2 C1, and then E3. Yeah, the opening was a blunder. It is a good lesson to learn.
The opening was a blunder.
I think the opening was a blunder. Yeah, because when you cut, you have to anticipate that the opponent can attack your cutting stone.
Yes, the cutting. Mm.
When you cut, I'm going to tell him over text too. Maybe he's already listening to the chat.
What's up, guys?
Hey, you're playing. You're winning a lot today.
Yeah, I guess.
So, how did you feel about the games?
Wait, can the stream hear me? Like,
Yeah.
Is that how we're hearing Polina, or is she on Twitch too?
No, the stream hears you.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. It would have been good if Hootie wanted to do a rematch.
Yeah, you can do rematch other time, maybe. I think he felt a bit upset.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a straightforward game. Once, we got to about the early mid game.
It was kind of straightforward because he didn't invade fast enough, and this is what we kind of almost saw again with Pina versus Atari last week. Was that Atari had white, Atari covered most of the board, and then Pina waited a long time to make an invasion, and then the invasion didn't work.
Yeah, true. So you need to be able to invade in the good time.
Oh, so
right.
So Tibble is asking for another game. What about Polina?
Yeah.
I'm a bit busy. Like in 10 minutes, I will get busy, guys. So I can't really play today.
All right.
Well, maybe I can play after 9.
Okay.
I would want to play Thibaut. I think he is strong. I will lose.
Okay, perfect. Good.
So I also, Artie just mentioned to me that in the news he posted our information about the tournament.
Great.
And he also says that it's not IGGC which organizes the tournament, but it's Alek and the team.
I understand. I have actually put the can you disable the sounds from IGGC? So I put the announcement in the news section, and then Artie has edited a bit and added the disclaimer. I think it's very important that the yes, that everyone know that it's not an officially some kind of IGGC, but it will be hosted on IGGC. All the games will be played on this website, and and it's that we, the Tumbleweed community are organizing the tournament, and actually I'm really excited for the tournament. I think it's going to be super cool. We already have a lot of people signed up, and I think we need. I'm looking at. I hope at least 16 people can join so that we kind of match the target size. Right now we have 8 people signed up.
Yes, but we still have 2 weeks,
right.
And would be good if people spread the word.
Yeah, exactly. I think that anyone who's listening to the stream, or anyone who is watching this YouTube video later after I post it, will take it into their hearts to. Oh wow! This move is amazing.
You mean the move from Thibaut against Miho?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a line defense again, or line attack.
But the pie, actually, this pie is not...
it's not good for white at all.
Not good for white. Yeah, so Thibaut might come off with an advantage at the beginning of this game because Zapoa accepted a pie where his stone could be immediately attacked. Oh no!
Yeah,
he gave up immediately.
I would go for E1 immediately.
E1. Oh right, just to get out, just to say.
Really? I didn't see that Miho just resigned immediately.
Okay, but maybe hopefully they play a new.
Yes, I mean that's it is discouraging.
But I mean, there are some bad pies in Tumbleweed, and people have to be cognizant that not all pies are created equal, and some of them allow early knockouts.
Which I also think it's not really possible. There is still a way around it. It's okay. It can be accepted as a challenge.
Exactly. Like I would take the challenge as white and just go E1 and then just try to win another way, even from a disadvantage.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
a beauty. I think it's a beauty of Tumbleweed. It can be played from many different positions.
Right.
Not all of them are easy. Not all of them are easy, but I learned it the hard way. That I mean, it feels like you are losing, but something may happen, and actually everything can be turned around. So it's not clear till the end in Tumbleweed if one is going to win.
Right.
Sometimes it is, but when a lot of fighting happens, then it's really hard to predict.
This is an interesting one. Wow.
Anyway, Alek, this is crazy one.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a better one from before.
I think it is definitely better. Can you see any moves for red which immediately attack white?
But the same H8, right?
H8. No, because if you do H8, then white goes G7.
All right.
Hmm.
Okay, maybe it is a better one.
I
But it's
definitely
looking so weird.
Yeah, it looks weird, but I mean, I think it's a good.
Yeah. But I gotta go.
Yeah.
I need to go.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed these games, and it was fun to analyze several different games.
Yeah. What a great
Really great
stream. What a fun time, and I just I'm super happy because we always have all this content that we can now put online, and it's basically a Tumbleweed lesson for anyone who wants to watch.
Yes. Yeah.
What's going on in this game?
Yes, I completely agree. So, yeah, I will watch this part of the stream a bit later after you post it.
Well, it's been also several hours, so I might just end the stream now.
As you wish. But yeah, let's get together next week.
Yeah, let's stream again
for some
soon.
other exciting games.
Okay.
Have a great evening.
All right. See you, Polina.
You too. Thanks, Polina.
Yes, and have a great afternoon in Omaha.
I will. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. I'm gonna end the stream, but I will continue. I want to keep talking to you after this, Nick.
Okay.
So I'm going to exit. Stop recording. Stop recording.